Welcome to our SEC Spring e-News. Today we have the pleasure to interview our CEO of Swisscontact, Philipp Schneuli. Thank you so much for being here and facing these questions about international development cooperation.
Thank you.
So, international development cooperation is facing very difficult times at the moment with a lot of budget cuts. Where do you see the most concerns?
I think the biggest concern from my point of view are geopolitical tensions overall. It's not so much the budget cuts, which are a consequence of that, I would say. When you look at what's happening around the world, or what has been happening over the past couple of years, you have seen many crises emerging. Look at the Sahel, we have a situation in the Sudan, we have the DRC now. We have situations also in Europe, of course, which are very much in the news, in the Ukraine, also in the Middle East and in Myanmar, where we have a protracted crisis. So I think all of these things are, to a certain degree, an effect of the international tensions, geopolitical tensions. And what's happening with the budget cuts in international corporations simply comes as a consequence and on top of it, and is somehow the expression of the force, of the short-sighted way of international politics that we observe today.
Okay, but explain us, why is international development cooperation needed in the first place? Do people in our partner countries actually really benefit?
I think it's an important tool of international politics. In the case of us, we promote and foster private initiative. I think this is absolutely key to do. We have some sort of responsibility, I would say, as Switzerland. We have a standard of living that many other countries do not have, and we draw many raw materials from these countries, and we benefit from their workforce for many things that we consume here. So I think there is also an ethnic responsibility, but there is also a business interest, I would say, for Switzerland. And I think we have proof of evidence that things work. We have been doing that for over 60 years, promoting entrepreneurship, promoting skills. People become more active. I think this creates income and jobs, and the evidence is there that it is actually doing the trick.
Okay, and so since 2020, the Swiss Development Corporation, the SDC, is stated that they not only focus on solely solidarity anymore, but also want to see long-term interests for Switzerland and for the Swiss people. So how does Switzerland and do the Swiss benefit from international development cooperation?
I think Switzerland benefits in many ways. There is a more immediate, you would say, benefit of having socioeconomic resilience and stability in the countries because it reduces migration. It also helps to create stable partnerships. It strengthens democracies and societies. So I think this is a more immediate effect that we can observe. But there is also a more long-term effect coming out of that. I think it creates a lot of goodwill for Switzerland. I was in Jakarta last year for the 50th anniversary of Swisscontact, and Swisscontact has promoted vocational training and has contributed to establishing the vocational training system in Indonesia, and both the private and the public sector are very appreciative of this. So Switzerland benefits from huge goodwill in these countries, and I would say in the longer term for Switzerland as a small and open society and economy, we really need a cooperating world. Confrontation and let's say power games where the most powerful simply assert their interests in the world is not a good world for Switzerland. Switzerland can only strive and grow and be the country that it is in a world based on cooperation, and I think Switzerland should lead by example.
And how do the budget cuts from the Swiss Development Corporation affect Swisscontact or SEC, the Senior Expert Contact?
So SDC has decided to cut cooperation programs in 3 countries, including Bangladesh and Albania, where Swisscontact has been implementing projects with SDC for many years. This is a bit difficult for us, I must say, but also for our partnerships, and I think responsible exit is something that we need to take a look at very carefully, and also the Swiss government needs to do that, because otherwise you lose this goodwill that I have mentioned. On top of that, we have the core contribution that we receive from SDC as Swisscontact, which is not a major part of what we do, but it is there, has been cut by 10%. We use this money to fund the Senior Expert Contact program, which is our oldest program. But we are currently seeking ways to find other funding resources to keep it up the way it is. So I'm confident currently that there will be no effect on the SCC.
Let's hope so. And what do the current developments of US aid mean for Swisscontact?
We had 5 projects funded by the US government. 4 of them have been stopped or terminated. This has a financial effect together with what SCC has decided. Also, the British government has decided some cuts. All of this affects us. Fortunately, we're in a healthy financial situation, and I think what is most important, we are a nimble organization, so I think we can react to these cuts and simply adapt to the new market realities. I think there is no need to panic. We will be able to deal with it.
Do you maybe even see a potential for Swisscontact or the Senior Expert Contact in these challenging, difficult times for international development cooperation?
Well, interestingly, we kind of anticipated this development 3 years ago when we defined our new strategy. We want to increasingly work together with the private sector. This is where Swisscontact comes from. And as part of this strategy, so this strategy helps us, but as part of this strategy, we have also decided to integrate the Senior Expert Contact program into our ongoing projects. And I think this is really a fantastic opportunity to leverage these initiatives even more into the future. What is also important is that I think our senior experts that work in the program and work with us are very important ambassadors for our cause and for what we believe in. We believe in private initiative. And I think what we do makes a lot of sense. So I do also appreciate if the senior experts convey this message to other people.
Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you, Jane, for the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you.